guys! Time for us to move on to the next topic, although it's still building on the stuff that we've been doing in the past couple of weeks. Now we're going to start talking about conflict resolution. And the resolution is sort of how we solve those conflicts. But do you guys know what a conflict really is? Let's review it a little bit. So a conflict is a broad, sort of vague term for a problem that comes up between two people or sometimes more than two people. It can be an argument, it can be a fight, but it doesn't always have to be. Sometimes it can just be a disagreement, so something that you don't think the same or have the same views about. Remember those perspectives we talked about? That can come up as a conflict. It's not always super aggressive and, fighting, but it's just something that you disagree on. You're not seeing eye to eye, as people will say. You're sort of missing the mark a little bit. Now, conflicts happen to everyone, but the important thing, and what we're going to learn how to do, is how to deal with the conflicts, right? Because there's a right way, or there's a lot of right ways, and there's a lot of wrong ways for us to deal with conflicts. So I want us to talk about some of the right ways that we can handle that, okay? Some people get very, very angry, and they might yell and be very loud, and they'll argue, and that's that hard force. It feels like a fight almost when you're in those conflicts. That's how some people deal with conflicts. And there are other people who will totally shut down, and they will get very quiet, and they might just leave or walk away. They might run and get upset and cry. So there's some people who explode, and there's other people who implode. They hide in. And then some of us kind of do a little bit of both. You don't have to be one way or the other. You can have a mixture of both of them, because it might depend on the situation or on the conflict that you're in, or who the conflict is with, right? So whatever the case may be for you, we're going to look at ways that people can handle these conflicts and decide if they're good, if they're bad, how we think that they went. Was it successful? Or was it maybe not so successful, and we can figure out different ways to handle it next time that would make it more successful, okay? So, first, we're going to talk about what can cause a conflict, or once a conflict comes up, what stops the conflict from being resolved, right? Because we're talking about how to fix those conflicts now. And we're going to call those roadblocks. And if you think about it, it kind of makes sense, right? What happens when there's a roadblock, when there's a block in the road? We just had a really big storm last week, or maybe over the weekend. And we even had hail in my area, where I live anyway. I don't know if you guys saw that too. But some of the trees fell down. That could be a roadblock, right? You're blocking the road, right? If a tree was to fall in the middle of the road, you can't get through. So think about that when you're talking about these conflict resolution roadblocks. What is stopping us from fixing these conflicts, from resolving these conflicts? Some of these things can be blaming. So you're not taking responsibility for your own actions or things that you said or did. You're blaming the other person. You're sort of attacking them. That's how they might feel anyway. If you're yelling and screaming, remember those when you butt heads with people like that, when you get really, really aggressive and yell, that's not usually going to help resolve that conflict. If you're avoiding, a person might run away and hide, or just avoid that person, or not go near that person at all. And that's not really going to resolve a conflict either. It's just going to leave it at a standstill. Things like this. Rolling your eyes. That's not going to help resolve a conflict, is it? No, if you think about it, that's probably going to make it worse, because the person that you're rolling your eyes at is going to think that you don't care, or that you're being nasty to them, and it's probably going to make them feel worse. So that's a roadblock for sure. Something so small, but it's definitely not going to help. Multitasking. If you are sitting down with someone and you're about to resolve that conflict, you're about to fix a fight, and you sit down, and then all of a sudden you pull out your phone, and you sit there on your phone, and they're talking to you, and you're just sitting on your phone. Is that going to resolve the conflict, or is that going to be a roadblock? Yeah, it's going to be a roadblock, right, guys? Because that's not going to tell that person who you're speaking to that you care about what they're saying, that you care about how they feel, and that you really want to resolve the conflict that you're in. It doesn't really show that you're interested at all. So that's definitely a roadblock if you're multitasking. And something that I just mentioned, but ignoring people's feelings. You really have to acknowledge someone else's feelings. If they feel like they're not being understood or heard, if they feel like they're being ignored, it's not going to help resolve that conflict at all, is it? No, it's not. Getting others involved, what do you think? A roadblock or something that could help? Sounds like it could help, but actually that could be a roadblock too. Think about it. What if you're in an argument with one other person and then you go get 3 of your friends to come with you to resolve the conflict? So now there's one of them and there was one of you and now you have 3 of your friends. How is this person going to feel if 4 people are coming at them? Yeah, that's probably not going to help, is it, you guys? Nope, we're not going to want to bring other people like that unless maybe they can be there as a facilitator, like a teacher or another adult. That might be helpful. But getting some more of your friends to help during a resolving of a conflict is probably not going to help at all. And the last one I want to talk about is not taking responsibility. Now, that's a big word and a big idea, not taking responsibility. That means placing blame on somebody else. That means thinking that it's not your fault. If you got into a fight or an argument with somebody, I don't know, if you weren't sharing the ball at recess or something, and you blamed the other person for them keeping the ball the whole time, when maybe you should have asked in the first place or told that person that you wanted to play with the ball. If you're not taking any responsibility for the conflict or something that you did, then that's not going to help. You're just going to place all of the blame on that other person and not take any for yourself, and they are not going to like that at all. All right, that was a lot of information. There's a few more activities that I want you to do to work through some of these things we've talked about, and I will get back with you soon. All right, bye guys.